Hi, welcome to the Mangala Samiti podcast, where I talk about business, life, personal development, and other ideas that matter. I am your host, Mangala Samiti, and I am many things: a chartered global management accountant, CFO, author, voiceover artist, and so much more. But I really am just one thing, and that is a creator. I create content and solutions to problems and challenges. I hope this podcast will help you on your own journey to greatness.
I want to thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. This week, I want to speak about interdependence and how we are all connected. Okay, so interdependence can be described as the mutual dependence of two or more people or things on each other. See, I'm particularly intrigued by the theory of interdependence because it teaches us that nothing exists in and of itself. We are all connected one way or the other in ways that are both visible and invisible to us. Think of it this way. Take you as an example and your existence today in this moment. It didn't happen by accident. If you just take a step back and think of this. When you were born, you weren't born at that particular moment. There's a school of thought that asks, but when exactly were you born? Was it at the moment of your birth, or the moment of your conception, or the moment that your parents met, or the moment that your grandparents met, or the moment that your great-grandparents met, or the moment that your great-great-grandparents met, and so on and so forth. If you take it all the way back, you realize that you existed from the very beginning of time. So when time began, everything had to come together so that it could end up being you. So what that means, so when time started, whoever the first people were had to meet, had to conceive, had to have whoever they had. Then those other people also had to meet, conceive whoever they conceived. Then the other people also had to come together and conceive who they had to conceive, all the way down to your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, your ancestors, then your great-grandparents, then your grandparents, then your parents, and then you in this moment. And every single thing that you do and every single thing that you have done effectively has led you to this moment. So let's also see it this way. In this moment, me sitting here and doing this podcast and you listening, everything had to come together in order for this moment, for us to share this particular moment together. So I needed to have been born. I needed to have gone to school wherever I went to school. I needed to have learned the skills that I had to learn. And on the other side, you were also doing the same thing. You also had to be born. You had to go to whichever school you had to go to. You had to go through the experiences that you had to go through. You had to meet whoever that you had to meet. I also had to meet whoever I had to meet, so that we could all end up together in this moment. You listening to this podcast at this very moment. So every single thing is interconnected. Every single thing is connected in one way or the other. Nothing exists in and of itself. And also in biology, there's the food chain. And what the food chain basically teaches us is there's the grass that feeds the gazelle that feeds the lion dies and feeds the grass, or all of them give manure to make the grass grow so that it continue feeding more gazelle, and more gazelle can be born to feed more lions and the like, and so on and so forth. And it's an unending cycle that continues because it's part of nature. That's what nature is. So every single individual, every single organism, you, me, the lion, the gazelle, the grass, the trees, every single thing exists as part of nature. And all of us are in constant unison of this complex system where we all depend on one another to survive and to continue. So nature doesn't exist independent of you as an individual. Nature exists in you. So therefore, you and nature just as nature is you. That's a basic understanding of the theory of interdependence. Everything is connected one way or the other in ways that are both visible and invisible to us. Nothing exists in and of itself. Let's take it to business and the people in business. So there are various players in an organization, and all of these people play a vital role, whether you know it or you don't. But each one is important to the success of the organization. I remember having a conversation in the office, and one guy said, if I am not here, or if something happens to me, the business will crumble. And I looked back at him and I told him, no, every single person in this organization is important, is a pillar. And if any single person in this organization, something were to happen to them, the business would crumble. Why? Because every single person plays a vital role. So the marketer plays a role in bringing in business. The HR practitioner plays a vital role in ensuring the labor force is happy, is motivated, and can do the work. The accountant plays a vital role because they have to account for each and every single cent or every single resource that is being utilized in the business to give feedback and to ensure that it's actually achieving the things that it has to achieve. The leadership is also important because people need leadership. People need to be influenced. People need to grow. People need to be motivated, and people also do need to know exactly what it is that they need to do. There's somebody that has to make a decision because not everybody can make that decision. Somebody has to make the call. So the leadership is also important. The management is important in the organization because they bring all these different elements together and ensure that the workforce is actually performing as they should. Even the cleaner is important because the cleaner makes sure that the space that everybody else is working in is conducive, is clean, and can actually lead to more productivity. So people are not sitting in a place that is dirty, that is stinking, that is not conducive for them to be able to perform at their level best. So every single person in the organization is as important. And the only time that you'll notice that the cleaner is important is when the cleaner is not there. The only time that you notice that there are certain people who are very important is when they're not there. The time that you realize that leadership is important is when leadership crumbles and leadership falls. The only time you realize that the marketer is important is when the marketer is not there, because business comes to a standstill and there's no more sales being made. So everybody is important and everybody is interconnected, and everybody plays a vital role in ensuring the success of the organism, ensuring the success of the business. In you as an individual, you also have complex systems that work together to ensure that you are alive and you can continue living life and being you and contributing whatever it is that you have to contribute. Case in point, your heart needs to beat and run blood throughout the entire body, and the blood is then taking nutrients to and from. Your mouth has to take in food that goes down your esophagus, that goes all the way down to your belly, and from your belly it's then distributed to all other areas. Then there's as part of the digestive system, the food has to then turn into waste, and then you have to shit it out, or you have to pee it out. But everything is interconnected. Then there's the liver that also plays a vital role. There's your brain that also plays a vital role. Every single thing is important, and even though you don't feel it, at times you say, if you sit down, you're like, but you can't really touch your brain. You can't really touch your kidney. The only reason you know that you have a kidney is because you've been told that you have a kidney. But if you were never told that you have a brain, if you were never told that you have a kidney, you can't exactly feel it and say this is the kidney or whatever. You have to be told that you have a kidney and where it is for you to know exactly where it is. So it's invisible to you, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It does, and it plays a vital role in your life and keeping you alive. So every single thing is connected in one way or the other, and everything exists to make sure that life continues, your life continues, and nature in and of itself also does continue. By all these different players, and the organization as well can continue and achieving the vision and the mission by ensuring, or through these vital players and through various people coming in and playing a vital role to ensure the success of the organism, the success of the business, the success of nature is effectively continuing on an on basis, and it doesn't cease. So that's a basic theory and understanding of interdependence and how we're all connected. I encourage you to begin to see the connections in different things. And once you begin to see and make those connections, and once you begin to see that everything is indeed connected, it may just change your life, because you then realize that, one, you don't have to work on anything alone. You can depend and you can work with others to ensure that your vision as well is successful. So don't treat anybody like shit, effectively, because you never know who exactly you may need today, or who you may need tomorrow, to ensure that you continue going and that your success is effectively continuous. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any feedback, any thoughts, any ideas, please do send me an email on mangaliso.meaty@gmail.com. I want to thank you for all the feedback and all the comments and all your love and care to date. It lets me know that this podcast is making some sort of a change in your lives. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a great week.